Hello there, my name is Belinda Weaver. I'm a copywriter and Copyright Matters is my business. Each week I'm going to be going live and sharing some tips on helping you to write better copy much faster. My goal is to help you fall in love with writing copy, whether it's writing copy for other people or writing copy for your own business. So one of the challenges, today's Facebook Live is really for people who write copy for their own business. If you do that, you've probably come across the challenge of the blank page. You know you have to write some copy, you sit down, your fingers are ready, you have your cup of tea, the door is closed, and how do you even begin? Now, as a copywriter, I have a detailed brief that I get from my clients. I find out all about their business, the tone of voice that suits them, their brand personality. We talk about the objectives of the piece, the details of the product or service. We talk about the call to action. We talk about keywords. We talk about what makes them choosable and different and unique. We really dig into their target audience. There is a lot of information that copywriters collect as part of the brief, but more often than not, when we write copy for our own business, and I'm not just talking about all business owners, I'm talking to copywriters as well, because we have to write copy, right? You have to write copy for our own business. But when we sit down to write our own copy, we don't have any of that. We just have the blank page and the keyboard and that cursor mocking our inability to get started. So I want to share some tips to help you get over that hump, to banish the blank page and get started. So the theme here is creating your own copywriting brief for your project, right? So the first thing you want to be really clear about, and this is as simple as opening up a fresh Word document or just grabbing a piece of paper and thinking through what it is that you're writing about. So what are you writing? Number one, are you writing a flyer? Are you writing a brochure? Are you writing a website page or a landing page or an email sequence? Hang on. Close the door for the dog. So be really clear about what it is you're writing and how long you kind of think it will be. Is the flyer just one page? Is it half a page? Are you writing an email that you want someone to read really quickly? Or are you happy to write a long form sales page? When you think about what you are writing and think about how long you want people to take reading it, that can give you an indication of how much copy you need. You also want to be clear about the objective of the piece you're writing. Is this an email that you want to spark a connection with someone? Is this a flyer advertising a specific sale? Is this a landing page or an email sequence that you want to generate sales? Be really clear about the whole point of the copy that you write, because you also want to think about your audience, okay? So when you think about who you're writing to, you want to have a very clear visualization of that person. And that can sound like a bit of a marketing cliche, but you really want to understand the problem that they're having, that you are solving, right? Because when anyone reads some copy or interacts with any piece of marketing, they want to know what's in it for them. So you have to be clear about the challenges that they're going through and how you can help them. So when you're thinking about your audience, the problems that they're having and how you can solve them, but you also want to think about what it is they already know. And this taps into what's called the stages of awareness. And you can Google stages of awareness and find out about more of this. Basically, people go from being completely unaware that they have a problem to being aware that they have a problem but unaware beyond that, to being aware that solutions generally exist and they're usually then in their kind of research mode. Then they go on to being aware that specific products and services exist as solutions, and that's usually when people are comparing their options. And then they move into being most aware, and they are ready to buy. So when you're thinking about your audience and the problems that they're having and how you can solve them, think about where they are in their awareness levels, because that will dictate the kind of information that they need to know to get them towards most aware. There's no point giving them real specifics on your product or service if they've only just become aware of the problem and they're starting to look at general solutions. You have to think about what it is that someone needs to know. And in order to think about that, you have to be considerate of where they are in terms of those stages of awareness. So you've thought about what it is you're writing. You've thought about the point of the piece of copy that you're writing. You've broken down your audience into a few different key elements. Then you need to think about your call to action. So your call to action is what it is you want people to do. Do you want them to feel something, or do you want them to go somewhere? Do they need to click something, or do they need to enter some details? Be really clear about what it is you want people to do. So this kind of process shouldn't really take more than about 15 minutes if you're already really clear on your audience. Between 5 and 15 minutes, get a page, write down the elements that I've talked about, and you've got yourself your own little copywriting brief for the project that you want to write. Now, I talked about banishing the blank page and getting started. This is the next great tip I've got for you, because a lot of the times when we start copywriting, we start at the top, we're like, right, we're going to start with our headline first, or maybe we're just going to write the first paragraph. Well, let me tell you that the headline and your first sentence and your first paragraph, some of the most important copy you're going to write. Don't start there. Start with the things you know and start with the essential elements. This is especially important if you're writing copy in very small spaces. You don't have a lot of space, you can't have a lot of words. So start with the essentials first. And this is where you might create a loose framework. You know what you want people to do, so put the call to action at the bottom. You don't have to finesse the wording just yet. Just put down CTA : hit the buy button, or enter email details to find out more. Start with the call to action, what it is you want them to know. Then think about, okay, what is the essential information that someone needs to know? Create a little bullet list, right? From there, you are starting to build up the structure of your page. Headline, intro, essential points, summary, call to action, right? That's what every bit of copy has, but you don't have to start at the top. So they are my quick tips on how you can write copy for your business in a way that doesn't feel like you have to wrestle a blank page, right? You want to bust the blank page as quickly as possible. Now, if you're interested in stuff like this, I'm going to be going live every week about this time, sharing some quick tips on how you can fall in love with writing copy for your business. I also have some courses that you can look at. If you're a copywriter, my Copywriting Master Class is open on the February the 7th, 2020, and again after summer. But if you're a business owner, I've got something exciting. I am launching a new course called Everyday Copy at the end of March 2020. Check the comments for links on where you can find out more, maybe get on the wait list, because I am creating it right now. And you can help me zero in on the kind of masterclasses you want included in the course. But if you're not in either of those camps, you don't want to take a course, that's cool. Just apply the tips that I've covered today. Create your own copywriting brief before you get started, and then construct your copy with the easy bits first. Your copywriting will be done in no time. My name's Belinda Weaver. My business is Copyright Matters, and I hope you have a fantastic day, copywriters.